Welcome to Cake on Tuesday, where we spotlight the rule breakers, the underdogs who refuse to listen when everyone said it won't work. I'm Elizabeth Bieniek, and for the next 20 minutes, we're diving into another disruptive innovation story that proves sometimes the craziest ideas change everything. Today's guest is Dr. Ewelina Kurtys. From an early interest in science, her journey led her to focus on neuroscience and a PhD in brain imaging. Dr. Kurtys has always been fascinated with how complex systems can be understood through data, patterns, and measurement. But beyond just discovery, her interest deepened to explore what happens after the lab, when ideas become products, tools, or companies. This fascination led her to her current work, sitting at the intersection of science, AI, and commercialization. She is now a strategic advisor at Final Spark and the founder and CEO of EKI, working with frontier technology companies on research-driven innovation. Dr. Kurtys, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm really excited to dig into this fascinating background here, and I'd love to talk about your journey. But first, can you tell the audience a little bit about what sets your soul on fire about what you do? What do you love about it?
So I always enjoy doing things which nobody else is doing. I think it's exciting when you explore new territory. Then you feel some kind of, excitement when you discover something new. And that's also the reason why I wanted to be a scientist, why I did my PhD, my research. And later, when I left academia for industry, I discovered entrepreneurship. I discovered that you can still do new stuff also outside the lab, which is really fantastic. And that's always excites me. I also like to see constant progress. Yes, and I like the work which also makes you better person when you do this. So that's important for me.
And you can never get bored because you're always learning and always
Yes.
exploring. So I love this journey, how you started with the discovery, you were focused on the lab and the upfront process, and then you continued to say, all right, what happens after this? And really wanting to follow and see that through. Can you talk a little bit about that turning point and when you're like, I want to chase this into the business world, the commercialization side? What prompted that?
So I always did a lot of exploration, and when I was doing my PhD and my research, I also was a postdoc for 2 years at King's College in London. I had no idea what to do next. I thought, like most people, that I should just apply for a big company and do some research there. But then I realized it wouldn't be for me. And then I really was lost. I didn't know what to do. But I was lucky that I lived in London at that time. And London is a great place because there is everything there, a big variety of everything, including the careers, and it's a great place for networking. So I was just going for different events and talking to people, and someone told me once that, oh, you should go to work in that company. They are also doing imaging, because I was specializing in medical imaging in my research. And that was really pure coincidence. I would never had this idea on my own. I had no idea about small companies, small businesses, how it works, but it happened to be perfect for me. And I was working always in the companies which were funded by also researchers, PhDs, people. And in a small company, you have a chance to try different jobs because there are never enough people. There are always, you can do a few jobs at the same time. So I had the chance to try different things. And then I realized that business development and sales and a bit of marketing, this is the best for me. I enjoy a lot because it's constant exploration. And this is what I love to do, which maybe even too much sometimes, because you should balance exploration with exploitation. So you should not only explore, but sometimes you should build on something what you already have. So I always have a problem with this balance. But yes, I love absolutely to explore, to see something new. Also, when I was going for all the conferences, searching for clients, I could also talk to people and had some idea about industry, what other people are doing, what are the problems, how the industry looks like. So that was really cool. For me, I could learn a lot. So I started in drug development industry. And then because I was doing imaging, medical imaging service, so there was a lot of discussion about artificial intelligence because there's a lot of automation in this field. And this is why I started to also attend conferences about AI, artificial intelligence. And then I realized that you can do much more than medical imaging with AI. And this is how I moved outside my field. I set up also my own consultancy to have more freedom. And yes, I started to work on commercial applications of artificial intelligence. And then I studied also engineering a little bit. I did some courses. Of course, I never become an engineer, but yes, I really I dig deeply into the topic on many levels. And now I also work on the future of AI. So Final Spark is kind of a combination of what I did in the past and what I did later in the industry, because it's AI and biology and neuroscience. So my PhD was in neuroscience, and they also work on neuroscience because they use living neurons, so the same as we have in our brains. But it's also about AI because they are building AI with these living neurons. So yes, so this is perfect combination. So this is how I arrived there through the AI, through my interest in artificial intelligence. Yes.
Okay, so help me out. I do not have a PhD in neuroscience,
Mhm.
but I can imagine there are a ton of applications of AI and biology and AI and neuroscience. Help some of us who might not have the illustrious background that you have understand what are some of the most exciting things to you in that field in the combination of technology and science?
Well, I think still drug development maybe is the most exciting. Any kind of medical solutions because they really change people's life. So I think this is really impressive, although this is not really the area of my work now. But these are applications which are already working. So you have a lot of AI in research. You now actually can accelerate the research in an incredible way. And I think this is very exciting. And we do also this in our lab. We don't do drug development. We do research on neurons for building a new computer, but we also accelerate with AI. So, for example, today you can use a large language model such as ChatGPT to run experiments for you. If the experiments are about writing Python code, Python script in programming language, it can be done by AI. So today, for example, we have a closed loop system where AI is writing a code. Code is automatically executed. Experiments is done. Data are collected, and the AI agent is analyzing the data and improving the next experiments. So this is really impressive. I think this is a dream maybe of every experimenter. You would like just to leave it on overnight and just have results or even analysis done. So yeah, this is also something really exciting. There is a lot of automation in everything actually, and it's amazing how much more work we can do with the same time.
Mm, okay. Speed to execution, speed to answer. Yeah, I can see how that could be incredible. You mentioned something a minute ago I want to dig into. You're talking about the excitement of discovery, but then also there's certain times where you need to go beyond experimentation to exploitation and be building something. For those of us who get really excited about discovery, new things, and innovation, and I know you fall into that bucket too, how do you know when you're really hitting something of, okay, this is something I need to chase down. This is something worth building?
I think you need to use your intuition mixed with the knowledge. Intuition works only if you have technical knowledge, otherwise, it's totally blind. So, I think it's intuition, but based on technical knowledge. So, you make a decision about what to do next and if it's worth doing or not. And it's always a risk, yes, of course, but a risk that the project will fail, but actually for you, it's no risk because even by doing this, you will learn something for sure.
Yeah, that's the exciting place to be. What has been most surprising to you in this journey of going from broader sciences to honing in on neuroscience to then now what you're doing now, looking at this intersection? Has there anything that really surprised you along the way and said, "Oh, I never thought I'd be doing that"?
I think the biggest surprises when I moved to industry was that it's much more about psychology than technical skills. And that was a big surprise for me because when I was young, I thought everything is in the books and it's all about being smart, which is totally not the case. And that was really big shock for me. And it took me many years to understand that it's not about being smart. Of course, you need to pass some threshold, you could say, but the rest is pure psychology. And that was really surprise for me.
Hmm. How does that play out in your current work with Final Spark and with your own company of when you're interacting with humans and sometimes humans are illogical and irrational. So how does that psychology element play into your current work?
I read a lot of books in psychology. I invest a lot in my knowledge, in keeping my mind calm, and also to increase my knowledge because still I'm a scientist. That's my way. And if I
Sure.
know something, if I understand something, I can control this. That's the way of scientists. So yes, yes, I invest a lot of effort in psychology, in both taking care about my mind and also studying how it works so that I can use it better. Like, mind, not just your IQ, but also you manage yourself.
So, both AI and neuroscience are fields where things are developing so quickly and changing so often, which I know when you're excited about discovery, that's a great thing, but it also can be distracting and hard to work in because things are changing every day. What are you most excited about for the future in the development of these fields in the intersection?
Actually, well, I'm the most excited about building a living computer. This is
Hmm.
definitely that's what we do at Final Spark. And the idea that you can have a computer where the processor will be built of living neurons, I think it's totally revolutionary. It's something what you couldn't imagine 10 years ago. And now there are so many, actually, this, let's say, idea becomes more and more popular. That's also our intention. So we put also a lot of effort to spread the message about Final Spark. So I think this is really exciting. It could change a lot also for neuroscience because when we learn how to program living neurons for a computer, we will also learn a lot about human brain and we can use it also in medicine. So yes, I think this is truly exciting. Although this is not something what will work immediately, we estimate 10 years timeline. So yes, so this is long-term project, but unfortunately exciting things they always take a lot of time. You cannot do them fast.
That is true.
Yes.
So you're bringing up an important point, I think, about how important biology and science is and understanding the human brain is important if looking at the future of AI, be if you're looking at a living computer. And a lot of times I think people can put AI in a box and approach it purely from an engineering or computer science standpoint rather than the more molecular and biological standpoint. Do you see neuroscience as playing a huge role in the future of AI?
Oh, definitely. I think the whole AI is inspired by neurons because these artificial neural networks are actually inspired by living neurons. Of course, this is very huge simplification, but because digital networks are much more simple, but still the inspiration went from there. And there are actually a lot of new trends in AI where people try to implement more and more workings of human brain into the software. And actually, one of the fathers of AI, Jan LeCun, he also believes that the future is in AI, which will be inspired by more by brain. So there are a lot of things which we don't have yet in software, which we have in the brain, and people try step by step to implement them to make better AI. Mhm. For example, more efficient. Yes.
Okay. All right, I want to ask a question on a different topic because this is Cake on Tuesday. We talk about celebration and finding joy in the journey, especially when you're doing hard things. I would say neuroscience and AI are both hard things. So when you're looking at the intersection of them, how do you personally or in your companies, how do you make sure that you are having fun in the process, fun in the discovery, finding joy in the journey when you're doing really hard things?
Well, actually, it maybe looks hard from outside, but I like things which I do. So it looks like working, but it's not really working for me. I'm very obsessed about this. So I put a lot of effort to not put myself on the projects which would be work for me. So I don't feel like working. I just enjoy this. It would be hard if you wouldn't like it. Yes, then it would be very hard. Yes. But I think it's like that with every job. And it's good to do something you really enjoy instead of working hard.
That's true. That's true. So how do you define success for, well, actually for both of your companies? What does success look like for you? If you're looking, you mentioned some of the things you're working on, you probably won't see manifest till 10 years down the road. But if you're looking ahead, what does success look like for both of your companies?
So for my consultancy, success looks like a freedom so that I have a freedom I have options and I can choose where I am and how I work. And this is exactly what I want. And for Final Spark, the success is building a computer. Yes, we want to build by a computer. This is very ambitious dream. And on the way,
Hmm.
we have milestones, which are very important for us, okay? Because you always have to divide your work in little chunks. And for me, also on the commercial side, what is really important for Final Spark is to extend our number of users. Because what is very special about our lab is that Final Spark Lab is available remotely. So basically, you can sit anywhere in the world. you can just open internet browser and you can be inside our lab. And you can do experiments and write academic papers just by accessing the lab through the remotely, because doing experiments in the lab means just writing code in Python or using prompts for large language model, and everything can be executed for you automatically, and then you can basically run all the study without ever entering Switzerland. So for me also important is to increase the number of our users, to spread the message about the possibility of doing this kind of research actually, which is very unique. And what is so special also is that you can do longitudinal experiments in our lab. So normally when you work with living neurons, you can do this for a few hours, maybe a few days, after they die very quickly. And our team put a lot of effort on how to keep neurons alive in the lab for a very long time. So you can do a lot of automatic experiments. You basically can run experiments 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. So that's very special and it's not common in the labs. So yes, so the objective is that more people can use it also for their own research. So that's short-term objective, yes.
Okay, amazing. I think neuroscience is one of those fields that a lot of people are scared of just by the name. If you were explaining neuroscience to an 8-year-old nephew, or perhaps maybe just something you wish everyone understood about your field is maybe a common misconception, how would you describe it, or what do you wish people really understood about the field?
Oh wow, no, I don't know about neuroscience field. If I don't know if there's misconception. I mean, you would have to go to the details a lot. But if I would have to explain neuroscience to a child, I would say it's a study about your brain. The most simple what comes to my mind. And there are a lot of things happening inside your brain, and if you understand them, you can cure disease. For example, you can find solution if someone is sick. So yeah, I would say this is a nutshell. The most important in neuroscience is the fact that we can develop treatments for a disease. That's actually the whole biomedical research. The biggest goal is to treat disease. The second goal is longevity. I think longevity is second because it's more important to treat people who are sick. But because we are so rich and so happy now, there is more and more interest in longevity, which is just to how to extend your life and how to live a good life for longer, which I think is also great advantage also of neuroscience, because when we understand our brain, we can use this knowledge to live longer and better. So not only treating disease. And in my field, especially in Final Spark, in biocomputers, there is one misconception which people often say, and I always try to oppose that. So people often say that we build brains in the lab, which is
Hmm.
absolutely not true, because we are using building blocks of brain, which are neurons. So neurons is built from the brain. Brain is built from neurons, and these are like bricks. So bricks, they are just building blocks. You can build house, you can build a bridge or something else. So the same with our work. We do not build human brain, but we build a structure which is artificial, but just using the same building blocks, which is actually done in research a lot. It's just that we apply these techniques, which are very common in research, for different purpose, because we want to build a computer. But this computer will be something totally different than the human brain.
Hmm. As the world moves ahead towards building a living computer, do you have any cautions or concerns or areas where, what are the areas that we still need to know more?
I think the biggest challenge in AI, it doesn't matter which substrate we use. So it doesn't matter if the computer is on living neurons or on silicon. I still believe that the biggest challenge is for all of them the same, is alignment problem. So
Eh,
alignment means how you make sure that AI will always benefit humans, not to harm. And it's actually a really difficult problem, because when we are building technology, we cannot really predict the results. So you always have something in your mind, but this can always be used in many ways. Like you use the knife to cut the bread, or you can also kill someone. And it's the problem with every technology, that you have some good idea, and to make the world a better place, but someone else might have alternative idea with the same technology. And that doesn't mean that we should stop the development, but it only means that we have to be careful always, because with every new technology, there are new possibilities also to do good and bad. And this is normal. So that's why also we as a Final Spark, we actually put a lot of effort to reach out to philosophers who work on philosophy of technology or ethics. And we try to encourage them to do also research about living computers so that they can help us to prepare. But I think the biggest issue is the alignment problem, which is not unique for biocomputer, but it's general about artificial intelligence, that if AI becomes more potent and more, it can also harm us. So how we make sure that the algorithms will always be on our side? So I think this is the biggest problem, which I don't know how to solve. And I think there are many smart people thinking about this, and they still don't have solution. Yes.
The philosophy of technology. I love that. I love that focus. This is fascinating work, Dr. Kurtys. People want to learn more about what you do, your companies. Where can they find you, Ewelina?
Yes, it's very easy to find me. If you put my name on Google, you find me. Many ways. There are many websites. Of course, if we talk about Final Spark, I encourage to check finalspark.com, our website. You can also find me on LinkedIn and all team of Final Spark. So yes, we are very present, very easy to approach. You can send us a message on LinkedIn or on our website. We always answer. So yes, I think it's really easy if someone has questions, or maybe they want to use our lab remotely, or maybe they want to request free data sets. Yes, we are always open. Or maybe general questions. People ask every day questions about our work. We are happy to answer.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you too.
Thanks for joining another Cake on Tuesday celebration of beautiful disruption. Please share it, review it, and find more innovative stories at podcast.cakeontuesday.com. I'm Elizabeth Bienik. Be bold, stay curious. Now go have some cake.